Today we're going to look at more things you guys want to see in the upcoming Formula 1 game.
Okay mate, we'll fit you with another set of tyres. We have enough fuel for a few more laps, so make this run count. Fit limiter on and into the box will be a quick stop. Currently, there are 2 cars on the circuit. When joining the circuit, be sure to give yourself plenty of space. This is your last set of new tyres for this session.
Whenever there's a collision or an off-track incident near gravel in Formula 1, there's always a possibility of a car getting beached, unable to continue in the session. In the F1 games, it's nearly impossible to get stuck. There are a few scenarios where you can't actually get beached, but I've only seen them occur if the track is at an angle or you're driving too slowly over a high curb. Imagine a situation where one crucial mistake beyond crashing into the wall or another driver could end your race. Spinning out of a fast section of the circuit and landing in the gravel unable to get back on track because you've dug yourself into a hole. Not every scenario leads to you getting beached. In some cases, drivers can be lucky and find a way out at the speed that they are going, but if you want an example of trying to get out of the gravel trap and beaching it, then take Stroll at the 2024 Sao Paulo Grand Prix as an example. He drove himself into the gravel trap that was very wet and deep. As he attempted to drive out, the car sank into the gravel and eventually came to a stop. Including this could be game changing, especially when attempting risky overtakes that you might have attempted in previous games, but now you would have to consider the consequences of making such a move.
Red flag, red flag. I need you to keep the delta positive and drive slowly into the pit lane. Remember to use the pit limiter and line up in the fast lane, and leave a gap to the car in front when parking behind them. A reminder to use the pit limiter when entering the pit lane. Confirmation that it's a rolling start procedure, so that's just across the line. The safety car will pit and you stay out and wait for the green light. So stay behind the car in front at all times. Make sure your tyres and brakes are up to temperature. The safety car will come into the pit lane. Remember, no overtaking until the timing line. A reminder to maintain the 10 car lengths to the car in front. Tyres and brakes are in good condition. Just keep doing what you're doing. The safety car is now in the pit lane.
A highly requested feature that I often see people wanting is a grid editor. This would allow players to load up a quick race and manually adjust the starting grid before driving into the race. If you weren't already aware, this feature is currently available in the F1 game, but only in the multiplayer mode. This is still quite enjoyable because it lets you have fun with friends or create chaos in open lobbies by placing the faster drivers at the back of the grid and the slower drivers at the front. However, having this feature in single player mode would be an excellent addition to the game. Imagine finally having Fernando Alonso on pole position for the first time since 2012 and placing Lance Stroll in second to create an Aston Martin front row lockout. Many fans currently are excited about Franco Colapinto, so we could put him up in the top 3 for the sake of it. And with just those 3 changes, we would already be in for an exciting race. Additionally, it would be great to have an option similar to what exists in the multiplayer mode, allowing players to randomise the grid if they don't want to spend time adjusting each driver's position for the race. And if you're wondering whether adjusting the starting grid for a single player mode was ever featured in a previous F1 game, the answer to that is yes. However, you have to go back to F1 06 Championship Edition to find this option. If the driver icons in the current F1 games continue into future installments, I believe you should have an expansion that includes more legends of the sport. For instance, there should be at least one icon from every F1 era, particularly from the early days. This could include legendary figures such as Fangio, Brabham, Clark, Graham Hill, Surtees, Sir Stirling Moss, Sir Nicholas Latifi and many more. Well, everyone has their own opinion on who the greatest F1 drivers are. I think we can all agree on who the legends are. Including these iconic drivers from the early days of F1 alongside modern stars would add a wonderful layer to the history of the game, allowing players to race as both past and present. One feature we haven't seen in the F1 games yet is an option to add a personalised character through face scan, similar to what is offered in the NBA 2K games. This could be achieved by creating an F1 game companion app that players would need to download from the App Store or Google Play. Once downloaded, you would link your EA account or the account for whatever platform you play the F1 game on. After the app connects to your account, you would scan your face slowly from left to right, After about a minute, you would receive the results, which you could then use to customise your character in the game. Having this feature would make you feel so much closer to the world of F1 and make you feel like a proper F1 driver. In recent years, the presence of women in motorsport has grown significantly thanks to the F1 Academy. Similar to F2 and F3, the F1 Academy is an initiative of the Formula 1 group, making it an integral part of the F1 ecosystem. Introducing the F1 Academy could be a new dimension to the game, attracting more female players and introducing a broader audience to the world of Formula 1. In the past, we've seen the introduction of short circuits, and just recently reverse circuits have been added to the F1 game. But what if we could have different track layouts for circuits that offer them? This concept goes beyond just short circuits by featuring additional variations. For example, the Red Bull Ring has 3 different layouts, including the Grand Prix circuit used in Formula 1, the motorcycle circuit for MotoGP, and the national circuit, which offers a various driving experiences, training and smaller racing events. This variety not only allows players to drive the Grand Prix circuit itself, but also enables them to test their skills on different layouts. We could also consider adding other iconic tracks like Spa and Silverstone to this list. To me, this would provide a more enjoyable experience for the player and make a fantastic addition to the game, alongside the option of reverse circuits if they are retained for the next instalment. The race build up in an F1 game has gotten a lot more realistic as the years have went on. However, there are still a few features in this which I believe should be added to the future F1 games. A first option you could add would be turning the cutscenes off for the race build up. As soon as you load up into a session, you jump straight into the cockpit and then just go from there. That's normally what happens on multiplayer. I'd like to see that as an option for people who don't really want to watch them and would rather just jump into the car rather than skipping through the cutscenes. But for the cutscenes being on, I'd like to see the driver parade being added, and this doesn't need to be like a long 5-minute parade, etc. It could just be a few cutscenes of the drivers going around the circuit, similar to what you're seeing in the video here. And while we're at it, you could even add cutscenes of the drivers heading out to do their installation laps, and also heading to the grid to take their grid slot before the race starts. In these scenarios, the drivers tend to meet their teams, and the teams drag the car along to the position where they need to be, and seeing these little cutscenes from time to time would give you a very broadcast-like experience. Giving you these features would really make you feel like you are part of the F1 world, and even if you can't do these features manually, like driving to the grid for an installation lap, you can still have this as a broadcasted scene before the race.
Spider-Man.
There you go guys, a collection of more features that we'd all love to see in the next installment of the F1 game franchise. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel to see more content like this, because there's a lot more coming over the next year building up to the next installment of the F1 game. And to help me reach my current goal of 150,000 subscribers as well, that would be very much appreciated. As mentioned in part 1, this is going to be an ongoing series aimed at making the voices of the F1 gaming community heard. Now is the perfect time to speak up and suggest these features to Codemasters and EA, especially as it hasn't been a significant break in the F1 game series since F106. With potentially major changes coming in 2027, this is probably our best chance to influence the future of the F1 games. Be sure to share your ideas for the next F1 game below, and I will include the best suggestions in part 3. That's all from me guys, take care now, and I'll see you in my next video.